Okay, I think we are good. Turn this down just a little bit. And we'll pop over to here. Okay, so we are back at doing the Space Marines. It's been a bit. Had a, I don't know, what I say, interesting week last week? I don't know. We did some different stuff on the channel, as well as say. And now we're going back to like the mini painting. Which I've been thinking about these guys again and wanted to get back into painting them. So, last time I let off, we were doing the Blade Guards. I realized the point that I want these guys to be at for like when I'm painting them and stuff, it's going to take me way more than 20 days to do, and I already feel like I'm going to fail the challenge because I got bored and I wanted to like see what the blue that I was going to use on top looked like. So I took this Intercessor and I just added the colors to it and mostly focused on doing the regular acrylics, not the speed paints. He got speed paint and then the acrylic on top, and he is that bright blue that I was looking for. So compared to like what we have been, or what I have been doing with just the speed paints, that pops so much more. And we are going to do this orange on their shoulders, but that just gets the base orange color down. So we're going to move over and actually get painting these guys. But I hope everyone has had a good weekend. I've had a productive weekend is how I would word it. What's up, Formula? Welcome to the stream. Nice to have you here. Hope you had a good weekend. Can't remember if I actually streamed this weekend or not. I think I did. Okay. What's up, Mr. Red? Oh, I remembered what I wanted to do for this stream before we got into painting. Give me a moment because I've already started painting, and then I will do what I wanted to do. Ooh, that does sound exciting. Sounds very exciting. But, okay, bear with me. There's something I wanted to do before stream. I want to do this every once in a while when we, kind of when we get a couple things. So I gotta quickly save a couple things to my computer. Who's else? I have to go back and see. Okay, we are going to also save this one real quick. And this one. Okay. You're going to see a lot of images kind of appear. Oh, I don't have my little guy up. Hold on. There we go. There we go. There I am. Okay. So, we are going to go and I wanted to show off some people's minis that were in the Discord. I'll save my favorite for last. I'll do one that I think is kind of cool right now someone has done. So, this giant monstrosity is from It's from Fat Man. It's just F in Discord. I need to see his full name. Nah, he's been in stream a couple times. I wanted to show off his mini. This big one right here. I've seen this done in corn colors or not just corn. Why am I forgetting the Chaos Legion? I don't know. But I want to show this off. He just posted this in the Discord again, and I thought it was cool enough to show. And I got 2 more. The other one is from Aatrox. And he has a... don't mind, it's a little weird. So, from Aatrox, this is... I gotta scroll up a little bit. A Black Shield Deathwatch Vet, which I love the Deathwatch personally, so I wanted to show that off. Also, because I do have the Tomb World Kill Team box, it's another reason why I'm showing it, but I like the Deathwatch. They were like one of the top 3 contenders for what I would make an army. And then the last one, which is my favorite model that someone has posted in the Discord. Let's see if I can find it. Here we go. And bam, it's this guy. This is my new favorite model someone has posted. This was shown in one of our previous streams here. This was made by Mr. Redcake. I think he's in chat right now. Yeah, Mr. Redcake. A beautiful model. I love the posing and I love the colors. So I wanted to show this one off, at least show those 3. Every once in a while, when I find models that I actually like and want to show off, I want to do this every couple of streams. So I just wanted to show off some people's models. Other than that, we'll get back to painting. Oh, you are welcome. Thank you for the awesome model. I love looking at other people's models. I will admit, I am very self-doubting of myself and compared to myself to people a lot. And I would say you are one of those people I would compare myself to. It is a beautiful model. I look forward to seeing more that you do. But don't put yourself in the debt by buying more Knight models. I do know I was a little bit late today. I was actually in another streamer's chat, chilling and stuff, and I was enjoying my time there. But I am actually excited for this week's stream schedule. Instead of like doing the same thing all week, I figured I would switch it up to do a bunch of different things. I think I said this before, one day of doing these guys, and then we got the kill team board. That will be, I feel like, months in the work. It'll be annoying because I don't know. I do want to work on it on stream, but I feel like I should also work on it off stream with how much is that I want to do. Ooh, yes, I do want to see. That's something I got to work on myself is glow effects. I would love to see your attempt. I'd say for myself, I always try to do glow effects on eyes just by adding a little bit of white and then putting like my contrast paint on top. I don't know if it really goes over that well. No, we'll fully paint that in orange as well. But I'm glad I could give you the boost of confidence. You should be confident in your stuff. Oh boy, Formula. I'll get to your comment in a second and read off. I might have my own opinion on your attempt to go into debt. And might give you some cheaper alternatives. Okay. Oh, you know you're dooming yourself. Okay. So, you said you've been looking over supplies that you'll need for the Hellsmith. Turns out you're going to need a lot of boxes of cork, bark, rocky sand, green stuff, brass rods, marble balls, braziers, and more. So personally for myself, I would say if you're looking to get cork, yes, you could get in a hobby store. See if there's like a thrift store. Like I got a, do I have it here? I think I might do, but I'm not going to go look for it right now. It's like a thinner form of cork. Like it's a whole sheet of cork, like wrapped up. And I got it for $5, maybe 25 cents. I know that's a huge difference in like pricing, but that's something I found for a really cheap, deal. And then when it comes to the sand, I'd say if you got like a sand pit or like a kid's sandbox or anywhere where there's already like sand there, get that, sift it, and then just use the finer sand there. That will save you some money. The bark, get yourself a big bag from a pet store. You'll use that bag your entire hobby and career, from what I've seen with people, than just like going out and buying it specifically like from Army Painter or your hobby store or stuff like that. And a child's playground. I wouldn't say rob them, but you got to look for those deals. You got to find like the minis themselves are already so expensive. Is there some way that we can save ourselves a little bit of cost? One of those things that I've like mentioned to my friends and stuff when it comes to buying minis, going to Facebook Marketplace, going to Etsy, you can find so many cheaper models and minis that way. But that's also where you can probably find some cheap like 3D printed stuff. I'm trying to think. There was another thing I wanted to say and I can't remember what it was. I got a brain fart. The marble balls, you might actually be able to find like a bag of glass marbles at like, again, a thrift store or something and check those out. Now I'm going to scroll down to more minis. Ooh. Oh, this is the Little Knight. Ooh. I like that. I like that, Mr. Cake. Or Mr. Red. Oh, you did on the big guy, too. Oh, and did you do on Lancer? I do. I like it. I think for an attempt that is a... Oh, you did on all of them. I say that's pretty good. No, don't get a hammer for the marble balls. Wait, why? Why do you need a hammer for the marble balls? Are you trying to break them? Oh, you're trying to break them. True, finding ways to make this cheaper would be a good idea. But if the price is needed for quality, then I'll make that cost. Well, you can still make something of quality without breaking the bank. That's a big mindset thing I've like realized myself, is that I don't have to spend a bunch of money to make like a good looking product. I've had to... The marble balls are to be bits of crystals And like for underground vibe. Yeah, that's... I figured you were going to say it's for like crystal bits and stuff like that. You know, talking about a simple tool, like, yes, a brush is like a handheld shovel. You can do a lot with it. You can like dig the dirt, move it, scrape things around, level it. Like, it's a good tool. But sometimes, and I'm saying this because I was also going to say for the end glow parts. Let me just grab... There it is. You could also take a little sponge here and rip a piece off, dip it in a little bit of like some darker colors, dab that on your engine bit parts so it looks like some of it's glowing, not as bright as the rest of it. I'm thinking back to someone I watched and what they did, and they did a lot of like bright color, and then they did from that brightest color darkening it down, and they did like the final bit with like a sponge of this like blackish color, but they were very careful on how much they did. They kept it very small. Crystal for mini basing I found online are either too expensive or too uniformed. With the marble balls once shattered, should be a lot of crystals. You know what's another thing you could also look at getting? They're not perfectly round, but if you're looking for that roundish shape and stuff like that, get some of those, like, not glass beads, but they're like little circular glass bits I think people sell. They come in like, I've seen multiple colors, but they're like green, blue, stuff like that. People usually get them for like fish bowls. What's up, JJ? Welcome to the stream. I'm actually now sitting at the table doing some painting. I've been looking forward to painting these guys because I realize the quality that I want to get these guys painted at is... I am far, far behind on where I want to be. Yeah, I mean, you're trying something out. I'm just saying, like, for next time, you know, maybe think about things a little bit differently. But again, it's your piece. If you're happy with it, that's all that matters. I think they're cool no matter what. But at the end of the day, they're your models. If you're happy with the models, that's who you need to impress. Not some random person online, not the people at the table that you're playing with. You need to impress yourself. And I'll grab this guy again, talking about impressing. I realize this is the quality I want all the little guys to look at. Or to be at. That is literally the speed paint blue with then like the regal blue from RE Painter on top. And I did the regal blue as like, oh, this is for the most of it, but also where the light is going to be. And it is so much brighter. It catches my eye. It's exactly what I want it to be. Yeah. So this is the orange that I was going to go with to begin with, but I got an orange speed paint to be really quick on it. And then gonna go with the orange. So the two main colors are Infernal Glow, which is the orange, and Regal Blue is the blue. That's on that guy at least. So I have found some perfect bits for my Hellsmiths. A box meant for ODD Dwarves that has the perfect cart rails I need. Also 3D printable braziers that look... Ooh, I like that. And then Mr. Cake says, I think there's always room for improvement. And 4, that is the key to listen to others. Yeah, I do agree with that. I've asked for people's opinions on my own minis quite a bit. And did research myself on what I could try to get better at. and try to bring that into my models. I do have an Instagram page that I posted like from the very beginning of my painting journey. And if you look back on the very first models I've ever painted to like my most recent stuff, it's quite a bit different. And that's just like with practice and trying new things. And I've also asked people like, hey, like, what do you think I could do to be better and all that. I'm trying to remember the guy's name on Instagram. I can't remember his name. He gave me a few tips also when I was doing that art competition, but no, I've had this ring for a bit. Usually when I remember, I wear 2 rings on my finger. I wear a gold and silver one on my middle finger, and then I wear this one on my ring just because I like them both being there. Sometimes I wear jewelry, but I don't always wear jewelry. I kind of don't because my job. Really easy to, like, if you're working with something and your ring gets snagged, you're going to lose your whole finger. So I more wear on days I don't work or I'm going to do, like, really easy work. Bring my chair a little bit closer. Am I already done with the oranges? Wow, I am. But no, usually when I go to Ren fairs, I like to collect myself little bits of jewelry, and it's expensive. But what I end up doing is I go with a basic Ren fair outfit, and then I usually leave with like a couple less $100 in my pocket and a few new things for my outfit when I leave. Might go to the Pennsylvania Ren Fair. You should. Even if you don't go dressed up, they're still fun to go to. I've been to 2 Ren fairs. The first one I went to is an hour away from me, and I like the most out of the 2 I've went to. The other one I went to is the King Richard's one in Massachusetts. That's still a good Ren fair, and is a really nice place. My only gripe with it is that all the stalls there's like 6 unique stalls and they all repeat over the entire fair. So it makes it really hard to be like, oh, I want to see what's in this stall. It's like, it's the same exact thing I saw like 5 stalls down. So that's a little bit annoying. Yes. So, I've said before, I need to work on my Inquisitor cosplay. I've been so far behind on doing it. At some point, I will work on it again. I think that's what the general craft day is going to be. Like, I have little side projects I want to do. And we'll do some stuff for the Inquisitor cosplay. But, yeah, I usually go... God, it's not on my Instagram. It's on my personal Instagram, which I don't really feel like sharing. I've shared my outfits in the past. I will say a lot of people... Going to a Ren fair is like fun in general and just dressing up. Like, you don't have to worry about what other people think of you and stuff like that when you're there. You're there to have fun. If you're being self-conscious about, hey, do I look, cool? Do I do all this and that? No. I've seen people walk around and, like, there was one vendor there who was literally dressed in just a dragon costume that you can get from, like, Halloween party. Formula, I was the same way for a bit, and I realized the best thing to do is just start. If there's a thing that you want to try cosplaying as, go for it. I'm going to use you as an example. You currently have a Mechanicus profile picture. You could make a cosplay for a Mechanicus guy. I think it'd be very simple. Get yourself a red cloth of some sort. Maybe even a little bit of like bits of white here and there. Get yourself a respirator and some goggles. And then there you go. You look like a Mechanicus adept. Yeah. That can happen too. I do end up buying my clothes more for myself, but I do want to get into sewing and like do it that way for me. The reason why I realized I could do an Inquisitor cosplay is because I inadvertently have all the clothes to do something similar for an Inquisitor. The only thing I don't have is like the rosette and a couple accessory things. Yeah, it does, and this goes back into saying like with the whole painting minis and stuff like that. I was that same way when it came to painting my minis, that I want it to be perfect. I want to do everything perfect. I don't want things to look like they're just thrown together and all that. And you got to realize that you're going to suck your first time. It doesn't matter. It's going to look completely like crap. And you need to just start and do it. Because if you don't, you're never going to. You can put that mindset toward everything in life. If you just sit around and think, oh, I don't want to do it unless it's completely perfect, you're never going to get it done. Honestly, that mindset is why I started just streaming and all that stuff. God, how long have I been streaming for? It feels like I've been streaming for like 3 months. And we've grown this much. And I would have just sat and done nothing. But anyway, my point being, don't sit there and be like, I don't want to, I'm not going to do this because I'm not going to be perfect at it. I want to be perfect in order to do it. You need the practice. I've been painting minis for a year, and I'm just getting to the point that I think I'm good. I'm not perfect, but I'm getting to the point where I think I'm good at painting them. So, you're always going to make an excuse. You're always going to be the person standing in your own way. I think all that matters is if you're going to have fun or not. A night haunt or a Zoe cosplay? I want to look those up. Yeah. That's okay. So that's also why I made the Discord. I'm pointing off at my screen, but that's why I made the Discord, is for a place for people to share and like throw ideas about what they want to do. See, listen to David. David knows what he's talking about. You just need to do it. All of us have that little voice in our head telling us like, oh, everyone's looking at us. Everyone thinks that like we're looking stupid or something like that. Oh, I got a question to ask you, David, but I'm going to continue my line of thought first. We all think like that. We all have this little voice. I do as well. Uh, I want to see these cosplays now. I want to see them in the Discord. It's just getting out there and doing it. You can't just sit by. I'm saying that for myself because depending on my situation, I feel like I can be very outgoing, talking to people. What's up, Jake? We're just talking about cosplay and how people should just go do it. My Facebook might go on and off a little bit. I wouldn't say Jake's a friend. He's someone that pops in on the chat. If anything, Jake's the voice inside my head. I appreciate that. I hope you have a good evening. And I appreciate you stopping in and checking out. You know, I thought so too, and then I realized how much you bully me, and I'm like, nah, I gotta keep my distance from this guy. He's a little weird. He smells like eggs. I will admit, we were very close to not having a painting stream night, and it was just going to be me playing Minecraft, because I got friends that are playing, but I'm like, you know what? Nah, I'm here for the painting. We got to get painting done. I don't have a goddamn tattoo on my body anywhere. Although I do want to get a tattoo. At some point, I want to get tattoos. I just don't know what. I'm so indecisive. If anything, like, if you've been around for a while and you've seen how much I've, like, debated, oh, I'm going to do a whole army paint in this scheme or this scheme, that's how indecisive I am about, like, getting a tattoo or something on me. Like, I think I want this, but I might like it at the moment, and then later on I'm like, I hate it, and I want to do something different. So I'm just going to choose to not get anything at all. Honestly, if I could, I would... So there's a magic item in D&D that's a little needle you put into your skin, and it's a living, like, tattoo that can move around. Besides the needle part, I would happily have a living tattoo that would change and, like, be different shapes depending on what I want on my body. That would be awesome. You want the Eye of Horus with XVI underneath, but I'm scared of pain and backing out. Fair enough. I don't like needles and pain either, so it's also why I don't get for it. But I need to say, I want to go back and read what Dave was talking about. I will say that you can manage your ambition to the extent... Yeah. Also, I wanted to ask you, Dave, how was Dragon Con? I didn't realize Dragon Con was a thing until, like, it passed by and happened. God, I feel bad for all the shaking. But I'd be tempted to go to Dragon Con. I have to research into it. There's like, I want to go to events next year in general, whether they be like for Warhammer or anime conventions or stuff like that. Yep, there goes my Facebook. Oh, yeah. If you live in in the area that they're doing it, I don't see why not. I will have to look into it. I think... Oh, I gotta talk with some friends and see if it's still a plan or not. But I think I'm going with some friends to a Magic the Gathering convention in February. They call it Nerdy Grass. Open bar throughout. I know PAX East is like in the same area as me, and I've wanted to go to PAX East for years. I've just never gone around to it. Oh, isn't Dragon Con like a 5 or 7 day event? And people get like really messed up? Like, I mean, drinking wise, like they're smart enough to... I'm trying to remember who talked about this. I don't remember who. But they talked about people at... It's getting that long. They talked about like some people go and they fill a bottle halfway with straight hard liquor, half with water, and something else in it so that they can keep going. Again, I know half and half makes it full, but like they do this combination of stuff so that they can keep partying on and just like continue without getting sick and all that stuff. Okay, people usually show up on a Wednesday or Thursday, and by Monday it's technically over. See, I'm the person that wants to check it out for a full week. Like, if I go, I want to go for the full time. Every single day, that's all I'm doing. I've made myself called pie. There's a lot of fabled recipes that I have made myself called pie. Oh, there's also... Okay. It piques my interest. I'm not much of a partier. Like, I'm really not, but it astonishes me like what people can get into. Good evening, Mr. Ed. I hope you enjoy yourself, and I'm glad you popped in stream for a little bit. We'll try to have an early stream one of these days so that people overseas can actually take part. But I'm glad you stopped in and chatted for a little bit. And thank you for the amazing model. Okay, I will get to that in a moment, Jake. I'm going to read what David said. You boil apple cider and spice down a half of original volume, then restore it back to the original volume with booze, including Everclear. No matter how cold, it tastes like warm apple pie. Ooh. That sounds really good and really dangerous. I realize the type of drinks that I enjoy are ones that don't taste like alcohol. I'm a very big fan of tropical fruity drinks. And yeah. Okay. Now to go on what Jake said. My opinions on the new Ultramarine models. I don't know. I don't really have an opinion because I haven't really looked at them. From what I understand, did Calgar get a new model? They also, I guess, made a new model for... What was it, their second company captain?
You know they're out there, don't you?
Honestly, like, the shield, the captain with a jetpack and the relic shield, I feel like if I wanted that, I would just steal a bit from, like, Blade Guard Vets and throw it on the model. Or get, like, a 3D printed piece. It's cool that's an option of a model to buy now, I guess, but I'm not going to go out of my way to buy a whole new model. I have a captain with a jetpack already, and I magnetize all of his arms so that I can do any combination of weapons I want. So now that's just now a new combination I'm gonna do. Calgar and Terminator armor. Yes, Kato. Kato's who I was thinking of. And now a new First Company veterans. Yeah, if you're talking about the guy with like the eagle beak on his face, I kind of like that model, and I would steal and throw into my own army, just because I think those, I don't know, I like all Blade Guard vets and all that stuff. I definitely want to like have as many as I can. I probably want to collect as many Blade Guard vet variants as I can, and I kind of have already started. Oh, I was damn happy about this emulator. I really, really want to magnetize, but I don't have to. The weapons to trade out all push fit. Ooh, that's actually really cool. That makes life so much easier. The Steel Rook? Yeah. I don't think it's a beaky face. I know like it's painted ultramarine colors, and it's got like, I think it's supposed to be like an eagle on his face. Oh, that's the Battle Sister flamethrower tank. Okay. I don't know Battle Sisters that well. I do want to grab Battle Sisters at some point. Not that I really should. Yeah, I definitely agree about the Calgar one. I thought Calgar was like already in a like big heavy suit of like Gravis armor, from what I understand. Like, why does he need to be in Terminator armor? Also, how much are you moving Calgar to a new like suit of armor? Isn't he just a torso? From what I understand in lore, he's if it wasn't for him being an ultramarine, he'd be a dreadnought. Like, do you just take this little baby torso and just move it into a new set of armor? I mean, I won't disagree that I guess Terminator armor is better than Gravis, even though I think they're the same toughness and stuff. I don't know. I'd be okay with some... Okay, so, because you're talking about Assault Terminators, this also triggers something else in my brain as well. There are still some old models sitting around that I'm surprised have not been updated yet, or that we still have. One of those being is the Tactical Marines. Are those going to get phased out and we just have like Intercessors and all these other types, or are they going to update Tactical Marines and actually make them useful? Because I've seen no one use Tactical Marines whatsoever. That also brings up, I think it's like a Devastator squad is still an old style looking model, and the Assault Terminators are still an old looking style model. Are they going to update those, or are they going to phase those out? Close that before I get a call. Okay. I think they're gonna phase out Firstborn and Primaris keywords and just have it be Space Marines. Honestly, that would make sense, because they're not doing Firstborn Space Marines anymore in the lore. They're just all moving to Primaris, so they're all going to be just Primaris Space Marines. I need to stay focused on what I have to do next. Is this still good in here? I don't think so. I think this white has gotten... Oh, no, it is still... It's kind of there. The whole reason they brought in Primaris is so they could justify the scale increase. Yeah, that's... I get it. Again, I'll say now, I'm joining Space Marine or Warhammer very late to the game. I realized Primaris came around when I was just graduating high school. So I wasn't really a part of the whole switching scale increase stuff. Personally, I'm a fan of Primaris, but that's because, you know, I'm dealing with Primaris now. I like the look of their armor and their outfits and stuff. Yeah, I do have a couple Firstborn models from a guy I did buy from. Like when I bought my first 2,000 point army, there was a couple like tactical Marines in there, but they're kind of set up cool. Like they're... I don't know. John Blanchy. I'm going to have to look up who that is. I mean, for me, when I look at Primaris, I've heard of his name. I didn't really know who he was till now. I think I have heard of him through like Xander and Coda a little bit on some of his videos, because he talked about like how he's... Did he do a lot of the art? Yeah, he did the original art, I think, for Warhammer. If I'm wrong, I apologize. My knowledge isn't that well. Anyway, to stay focused on what I was saying, I like Primaris a lot for their helmet because it does look like a knight's helmet to me. But anything that looks like a knight in general, you know, sells me on that aesthetic. That's why some of my favorite models are Blade Guard Vet models, because they have a knight's helmet. That's why I like the Dark Angels as well, because the Dark Angels are a knight aesthetic in space. Okay, I will look them up at some point. These eyes are going to look terrible. This guy's one eye I could not get all the paint out of, so it kind of screwed up. Okay, I'm going to look up those miniatures right now. We're going on a side quest. Jake, you're making me go on a side quest. Do I really need to do this side quest right now? The answer to that is no. I do not need to be on this side quest right now. Okay. Moving over to the green. I was thinking today that I might redo, for those that were here for it, when I made my like custom kill team and I painted it all in the black and like blue colors. Thinking I might need to redo those guys, make them match my current army and all that. Because most of those models are, well, I can use them in other faction, or not other faction, they're proper units, and most of them are the company heroes, and I do want to use company heroes in my army at some point. That's why I bought them. I really like the company heroes as well. I think I'm going to switch out. So, thought process, and why I'm going to be saying of, instead of like having the regular sergeant model in some of the squads, I take the company unit models and make them be the sergeant for like that squad. So if I have like a bunch of heavy intercessors, the sergeant is the guy with like a little bit of a cloth in between his legs. Like he's from the company hero models. I mean, the only ones I can't really, well, I could run the captain and ancient in their own units, or like still together. Which I have been snagging some of the newer Black Templar models for some convergence into my Space Marine army. Like, I grabbed the new Ancient that the Black Templars come with, and I'm going to make it fit my army aesthetic, is how I will word it. And I have... I'll grab it in a second. Okay. Let me grab it real quick. So, because I always need new projects, as I was saying, I have this guy who I'm going to probably make him more Dark Angel-y looking. Get rid of his weird helmet. And run him like a regular Ancient for me. I also got Vulcan. I know I showed him off a little bit. But he's going to go in my army, and I'm just going to run him as a captain. Or, if I say I'm playing Salamanders, run him as Vulcan. That's a cool model anyways I'm excited to do. And, for my Chapter Master, for my custom like Space Marine army, I kind of looked at all the models that are around and kind of what my aesthetic goes with, and kind of also what my favorite model's been. I'm going to turn the Emperor's Champion into my Chapter Master for my army. I love the pose. I think it'd be very easy just to throw a cape on him, probably get rid of the halo, and make it a hood. And I got myself a pretty cool Chapter Master to go with my custom army. But you also can all yell and scream at me, like, why are you doing that to Black Templars? They're their own thing. And I'm like, you know what? My army, my choice. But I also have to, like, because I'm kind of looking at this as a Crusade army as well that I'm painting up. I'm like, I have to build up to having all these models. Because I made this list, and then I bought those models after, and I'm like, oh, damn it, I do want to add these models into the army. There's some units I do want to switch out now in this list, just so I could run it a little bit better. I think the main thing I want to switch out is the Assault Marines for regular Intercessors. Or switch in some Flamers. Well, one unit of Intercessors and one unit of Flamers, and then build the Flamers up. But that's just because I love Flamers in general. I don't think I'm not gonna build any of those guys on stream, but I'll do a little short of me building them. What's up, Hannibal? I am doing well. I'm doing very well. A little bit tired, but happy to be here painting. Got to show off some other little models I had on hand that at some point I'll paint. Whenever I get around to it. But, yeah. Currently realizing that I'm not going to make the challenge of 20 days. Because of where I want these models to be at, and the quality of the paint job is going to take me longer than just streaming like this. Honestly, I see why people, like, when they do a challenge like this, they're streaming for like a whole day to make this. And when you are painting, I'll start too. What do you mean by that? Are you starting your own little project? So no reason to stress out about that. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to keep I've said before, even if I don't finish the challenge, I'm still going to paint these guys to like where I want them to be at. I'm going to try, though, to match, or at least get them like where, if I can get them to the level I want them to be within 20 days, awesome. If I can't, oh well. If I really wanted this series, if I wanted to actually do this challenge, I would have to schedule this only on weekends to do this challenge. Oh, okay, that's what you mean. I'm like, don't tell me you got in the Warhammer and you're painting while I'm painting. I mean, awesome if you are. But, yeah, no, it definitely works out. Because, I'll show it off real quick. I got impatient and I wanted to see what the blue would look like on a model after I did a contrast paint on it, which has been the blue I've been putting on all of them. And this is what I got. This is the contrast paint with the blue on top. And then I did do the contrast paint orange, but then I did the orange I'm going to use on top. And this is just show comparison of the two colors. So, this is what we're working toward, and this guy isn't even done. I still got to edge highlight and do other things to this little guy, but I used to spend a lot of time just working on one model for like a whole week. And maybe that's where I got it to. Put this back on. Aatrox. I was reading the Discord real quick. And I took a picture of a Kill Team box that I got on for the pre-order list. I kind of regret buying it right now just because it means like, oh shoot, I gotta spend, or it's like all the overtime money that I accumulated I just spent on this one box. So I'll definitely be building it on my own. I don't know if people want to see a stream for it. Maybe we'll do a stream of like all the kill teams I have and just try to build and paint every single one. Yeah, what are you drawing, Hannibal? Because I want to see as well. Smoking a cigarette. I like that, smoking. I know why you said it. I find it funny. Because now I'm just picturing someone milking a cigarette. Don't rush the artist. Yeah, but we want your art now. We're all here for your art. We want to see it. I have a suggestion, but I am going to hold it to myself. That's what I want. I had to step away and grab another contrast paint. That wasn't my suggestion, but yeah. Can you make it 3 Spanish raccoons in a trench coat? And they specifically have to be Spanish. I mean, they can also be like Mexican or Portuguese, whichever comes easier. You know what I gotta find? I gotta find my my brush soap, so I can clean all my brushes and not just use one brush over and over again. Ooh, I'll check it out in a moment. You know, I was kind of sitting and thinking today of like adding some tiers to like the coffee account, so that if people donated, they there could be something that they get out of it. What's up, Leaf Lizard? How you doing? Welcome to the stream. My name is Swamp, and I am currently painting my custom Space Marine chapter. Trying to get it done within 20 days, and I'm woefully behind. Oh no, we're panicking. We're panicking, Hannibal. You gotta find it. Your chill time depends on it. Ooh, nice. What's your color scheme for your Necron Dynasty? If you have pictures, you can show them in my Discord. It is completely free to join, so that you can share with the whole class. But if you're not comfortable, that's okay as well. Good, Hannibal. You found it. Now, lose it again. Lose your sketchbook again. No, don't actually lose it. I want to see those 3 raccoons in a trench coat that are Spanish. Ooh, I like that. That's a really nice color combination. I'm always good for some good gold, purple, and white colors. But I gotta look up death metal in just a second, so I know what it looks like. Ooh. Plate metal is also really good. We like plate metal as well. Ooh, death metal. It's a very brownish color. A brownish metal. That's what I'll say. I like it. Ooh. Might have to snag that in the future for myself. I got a Necron. I now have 2 Necron kill teams that I need to paint at some point. And the color scheme I want to go for them is teal with dry brush copper on top and metallic green color on top of that as well. So I want it to be a very like, I mean, yes, they are made out of like living metal and all that stuff, but I want to give them like an aged look. So that's something that I will work on at some point. First, I want to finish a lot of my pile of shame before I even think about building any more. You know, as a child, I always thought purple was more of like a female color. But you know, the older I get, the more I kind of get it. Purple is a very, like, nice color in general. I also find it weird now that we assign colors to certain genders. I mean, I get it for us to sell stuff and all that, but, like, we're kind of trained at an early age to think certain colors mean a certain gender. And really, they don't. Wow, I didn't get any paint on myself for that. So for all those that are new here and kind of wondering, I'm going through and just adding like 3 or 4, maybe 5 basic colors on my minis. So I'm not doing any of the crazy detailing or stuff like that. Like I'm not doing the power sword stuff as well. I'm just throwing on some easy contrast paints or my metallic color. And maybe getting these guys battle ready. I'm really just trying to get like the main armor sections done. I will take a look in a moment. Actually, I'll look now. Look in Discord now. What are you guys posting in there? Holy crap, that beholder. That is terrifying. I like the sketch, but whoa, what? What? I'm sorry, the mushroom people caught me off guard. I was not expecting both the Beholder and Mushroom People are really good. Those threw me for a loop right there. I did see it. Your Beholder to me is nightmare fuel, and that's a good thing. Beholder should be nightmare fuel. I didn't. I guess I shouldn't be surprised that Hannibal can draw, but I was surprised that Hannibal could draw. Do 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 do. A buddy of mine, his favorite color is purple as well. So I realize now that it's a lot of people's colors, and I can see it because I mean purple for a long time was considered like a royal color because it was really hard to get purple dye. To my knowledge, one of the ways they got it was from crushing a bunch of snails, like a certain type of snail. They had to crush, and that's what got their purple dye. And it was really hard to get it, so it became really expensive, so that only the wealthy could afford it. Burgundy is a good color too. Personally, I'm always a fan of blue, orange, and green. But I will... I don't know what I was saying. I was just kind of saying my favorite color because we're all saying it. I will check it out in a second. Actually, no, I will check it out right now. I do apologize about the wiggle. I don't know why it's wiggling so much today. First things first. Welcome to the Discord, Leaf Lizard. I love the name, by the way. Ooh. Oh, I love that color. That is... The death metal and gold give it a very worn bronze look to me. Yes, there was a snail from Tyr that made Tyrian purple one of the most expensive colors ever used. Only royalty could afford it, so it became a symbol of royalty. Yes, that is what I was thinking. Because I remember watching... I don't remember if it was these people specifically or if it was another one. But I'd watch like a lot of history documentaries on YouTube. And sometimes there'd be people that would reenact living certain jobs or certain time periods. And one of the ones I saw was them making purple dye, which is why I brought up the snails and stuff. So I feel like purple and blue were the very hard colors to get because you can't really get blue in nature at all. Like even what we call blue, like a blueberry, not actually blue, it's more purple. And when you squish it, it doesn't give you a purple color, it gives you like a pinky red color. I was tempted at some point in my life to try making my own dye from scratch and try dyeing my clothes. But I never got around to doing that, and I think it's for the best. But it's still good to know like what dyes I could get from just everyday objects. Cool. I think death metal was a good choice. It's a good choice. I like it. It's probably one that I would use myself if I want a very old, like, looking style metal. Okay, you have my interest. Why is ultramarine blue a wild one? Oh, yes. That part I did know. Lapis lazuli. Lazuli, I can't say it. Is that's like the only form of blue that you can get, and it is it's a process. Yeah. Yeah, they have to destroy a semi-precious gem to make it. Also, Leaf Lizard, you should be really proud of your scheme. I think it's a good scheme. Jazza recently made paints from raw pigment sources. Ooh, I'll have to check that out. Oh, that's what this was. Oh, it's still wet. Perfect. I'll use it. Oh, you know what I realized I don't have? I don't have my little stand. Oh, Mercury. Ah, what a deadly color. Okay. He went old ways. Oh. So for those curious right now, I'm putting on Cobalt Metal as the metal trim for my Space Marines. And I'm doing it because it's a bluish silver color. That's why I like it so much. Is the channel like how to like make everything still around? I don't know if that's their name or not, but they were like, he was doing a challenge for himself where he was trying to start from the Stone Age and make like an actual gas generator, and he could only like progress as if he like found and created the technology himself, like in his everyday life. I think this was a guy from like Michigan or Wisconsin, because he's like from a state that like naturally has copper, like native copper growing or there, which I thought was really cool. I kept up with him for a while. Last time I kept up with him, he was in the Iron Age, and he was blacksmithing, and then I think his workshop burned down, and that's like the last I kept up with it. That sounds like the book. Oh, like the book that has like how to make. It's like, I know of the book. I've not read the book. Yeah, like that's how I understand what the book is. That's gonna be a thick book too. Okay, this is gonna be a weird thing to say. If I was to throw a book at someone, or if I want to be hit by a book, I want it to be the book. For the fact that, like, if I'm telling someone that I'm going to hit them with the book, I'm going to tell them it's the book. Or if someone asks me like, oh, what'd you get with? I got hit with the book. I just... Okay. It took me a second to realize what you were talking about, JJ. Isn't that book banned in most countries? Hmm. Maybe I should get the book because I do like that stuff. When I was in high school and stuff, I got into learning how to like do primitive skills. It's kind of where my start for blacksmithing came from. Like I started with like, oh, I want to learn how to blacksmith, and then I learned how to do flint knapping, and then I learned how to make my own like rope out of grass, and learning how to make my own like bows and stuff. Like I was that kid in middle school and high school that I had the weird outdoor hobby. I was a nerdy kid, but I liked doing survival outdoor skills. I don't think I could do them now, and I don't think I'd make it on any survival show. But I say that just like all these little skills that I learned and stuff like that. Yeah, I do know how to make chainmail as well. I don't. I've never hand forged it, but I've gotten like electric fencing wire, like the metal wire that way. And I had a bucket for a long time just made of like links of little chainmail that I wanted to put together at some point and make chainmail with. Again, go back to the Ren Fair and cosplay stuff. That was something I was going to have a part of my cosplay, but I never got around to making it because it's a long process and I get bored relatively easily. Hence why if I took a picture of my office, it looks like a damn mess, but it's because I have so many projects that we're doing. Also, hence why this week is not just one project we're doing the whole week, we're doing multiple projects this week. This brush is starting to split on me. That means that when it starts to split, it's supposed to go to the side and I grab a new brush, but none of my brushes are clean. Okay, I think we can get away with this one. Ooh, how'd the dry brushing go? Or are you just saying that's what you did to begin with? You know, kind of looking at the death metal, it's a good, like, base layer metal. And then if you dry brush, like, shinier metal on top of it, would work, but I still think your models right now are really good looking as well. I wouldn't change. Oh, you started with that. Okay, perfect. I think the death metal looks really good. I think it's always nice to have like a dark tone. Like if you're going with really bright metals or really bright colors, you should have a dark tone base so that they pop out a bit more. If that makes sense what I'm trying to say. And we are going to hit all this. Ooh. Yeah, mixing plain grays and metallics don't really work so well. Yeah, it does. Yeah, the gold does. Hmm. Well, I'm interested to see how those paints work out for you there, JJ. Black and gold is such a good combination too. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. I'm gonna throw an odd question to you, chat. If you could own any animal as a pet, what animal would it be? Like, what's the like weirdest one you would want to own? Oh, I agree. Greed is way too nice. A bunny. I feel like a bunny's a very normal pet, but honestly, that's not a bad choice either. A gorilla. A cheetah. They're a giant house cat. That's what I've heard. I feel like mine would. Oh, actually, you know what? I would want. Oh god, I've seen too many horror stories of chimps to even think about getting a chimp or something like that. But I would like one of those. They're not a. A capybara would be cool as well. I feel like if you want a capybara, just get a guinea pig. But that's not me trying to disc it. I would want an alligator snapping turtle, or one of those rainforest crocodile or caimans. They get like 3 feet long, and they mostly live on land in like the rainforest and stuff. So those are the ones that I would want. It ate one of your joints, like your physical body joint, like it ate your elbow or something. Noah Doobie. I'll have to check that out later. I feel like cheetahs are a good choice from what I've seen. You just got to give them the space and have them be like active enough. Because they need the space to run. And I feel like you need to give them some sort of enrichment to let them like run and chase stuff. Has anyone ever seen those videos of like when they're training those dogs that do like the high speed runs and stuff? Initially they were used for like rabbit hunting and all that. So what they do is they have this little, I think they'll put like 2 dogs in it, and like in the center there is this like furry thing that just goes across in a line, and the dogs chase after it. Like that's how they train the dogs to run. You had a pygmy goat too, and a potbelly pig. We had a potbelly pig once. They were really cool. You had an alligator? Lucky. Although I say that, and I know alligators are a like dangerous animal to keep as a pet. A baby alligator. Well, what I was trying to say earlier is I feel like you got to get something like that for the cheetah to chase and like get the exercise it needs. For if you want like a pet cheetah. But I'm not a zoo. I don't own a cheetah. It's not something that I would really consider. God, if I was to actually have a zoo, what would I don't live in the right kind of state right now. Not, I mean, money-wise, I don't live in the right kind of state. But also, like, I don't live in the right geographic area for a zoo. Yeah, you would need a huge yard. A chimp that plays skirmish games. You could probably teach it that, but you'd have to... Honestly, they do... We are a lot more similar to animals than we realize. Like, how much... I mean, we think we're above animals, but we're really not. We're just really evolved animals that put some sort of pressure or society norm on us, but you'd let it win. I was talking in another streamer's chat, and any of you guys watch Steve Irwin as a kid? Or at least know who Steve Irwin was? Thank you. I'm just doing that cobalt edging stuff. Oh no! I got some metal on the little orange bob bit. But I bring up Steve Irwin because we were talking about that in the other... He is a legend, and I feel like right now we could really use someone like that. I know his son is doing the best that he can for, like, animal preservation and with the zoo and stuff. I don't really follow him at all, but from what I've seen, he holds the same respect like his dad did to animals. But Steve Irwin, for me, developed my love of... That's right, his daughter Bindi is as well. Is also doing... I bet they're both doing stuff with, like, the zoo and all that. But to kind of stay focused on my train of thought before I go too far, he developed my love of... I don't want to say all animals, most animals. Mostly reptiles and all that. I'm not a fan of snakes, but that's a different reason. But like my love of lizards, big and small, and salamanders. That's kind of like where my whole appreciation for those animals came from. And yeah. I kind of sit back and think on like, oh, what if I actually... Because like as a child, I wanted to be a paleontologist because of the JP movies, but I wonder if I actually went toward like zoology or something in animal research, if I'd enjoy that. Not that I don't enjoy what I'm doing now. Well, not all the time, but just kind of sitting back and reflecting. You say your mom wasn't a fan of him. Was it just because he was putting himself in situations that were dealing with animals in a not so safe manner, I guess some people would say? Yeah, I mean, I tried to take a biology class in high school and I failed it. So it's why I didn't continue down the line of doing like paleontology and all that. I don't think it really helped with the people I was in class with either. Were very distracting. Nice to see you here, David. Enjoy the rest of your evening. We will be here chilling and chatting. Next stream I have is tomorrow. Maybe. We might switch tomorrow for Thursday. And I say that because one of my buddies that I'm trying to get into Warhammer might be free tomorrow and be willing to do a paint session. So I might go down and hang out with them, but yeah. I mean, that's fair. But also, like, that's the safest way to handle those creatures. And again, he was doing it for TV. So I'm going to be the person on the fence here. Where I understand where your mother was coming from with it. But also, he was doing it to teach us on how to treat these animals and educate us. I do understand, like, why are you going up to, like, grab these guys? But also, they did quite a few... Yeah, just to observe is, I guess, fine for most of it. But from what I remember, on some of the episodes, they're actually like going after some crocodiles and stuff because they were becoming nuisances, or they were doing it for research. Because that's the other thing too. Like, he ran a zoo, but he also helped with animal research. What's up, Sawtooth? Welcome to the stream. What you paint, if you don't mind me asking? And yeah, I'll just explain real quick what I'm doing. I'm painting my own custom Space Marine chapter. I'm trying to do 1,000 points for... Yes, we are talking about Steve Irwin. We are talking about Steve Irwin. I brought it up because I was talking about it in another person's stream. Oh, you're doing a Kroot kill team. Nice. I like some of the Kroot models. I think there's like one Kroot model I'd grab, but I'd kit bash it to use it with my own guys. But I got a couple kill teams myself that I gotta paint and do. Well, welcome to the space that you're all new and all that. I'm relatively new as well. I've been only doing this for about a year. I'd say a little bit over a year. I'll stop calling myself new at like probably the 3-year mark. But yeah, welcome, and I hope you enjoy yourself and here at chat. We're really just here to chill and chat about whatever, on not even just Warhammer stuff. Actually, we talked about cosplay stuff earlier too, and like going out there and you know, just doing that stuff. Showed off a couple people's models earlier on stream as well. Some of my favorite ones that I've seen over the past week or so. We had a guy in here called Mr. Red Cake, and he made some amazing looking knight models. To me, I thought that they were amazing. I know maybe to other people they wouldn't be, but... Okay. Satu said, a friend urged me to get a box of CSM like a decade ago. I did nothing with it, lost them in a move. Last month, I had the urge to paint little dudes, picked up a bunch of stuff. Speaking of Warhammer, I've seen memes of this, and I'm going to say the horse racing game. Chaos Space Marines. Ooh, Chaos Space... Oh, wait, no, oh, that was Lizard Leaf that was talking about it. Speaking of Warhammer, I've seen memes of this and the horse racing game. Okay. Go back, picked up a bunch of dudes. So, did you grab yourself some... Oh, no, you were saying Chaos Space Marines. That's what you got a while ago. Okay. Well, I hope you can find them again. I know the name of the horse racing game, I just don't think I can pronounce it, which is why I don't even dare. Uma Musume? Is that how you pronounce it? I've been tempted to try it more now after, like, a certain horse in real life has passed away. I want to try the game, but I'm also, like, I don't think I will play it that long, so I'll just enjoy what people post and all that stuff, but... a buddy of mine likes Chaos Space Marines. He builds them, and then he has me paint them. And that's kind of also what sparked this whole thing. His list right now that he has built and stuff is 860 points. So I'm technically doing an 860 point list. The hard part that I have to deal with is that he's got Abaddon the Despoiler in his list, and I don't really have anything besides a Dreadnought that could really kind of deal with Abaddon. So that's the other thing too. If we get like 300 subscribers by the time I'm done with this challenge, we're adding a Knight model to the list, and I will build and paint that on stream. I have a model in mind, or a Knight model in mind, but oh, like, I want to see that. Someone edited one of the horse girl faces over the Emperor's head. I want to see that so bad right now. Because I'm picturing, like, so, painting the means of your own demise. Yeah, that is pretty much what I've ended up doing. It's kind of my own fault, too. I bought Abaddon for him to add to his army, and I painted it, and then I gave it to him as a gift, and now I have to reap what I sowed. I know he's adding a couple more models to his list. He's adding an anti-tank unit, a set of bikers, and a group of chaos cultists. I think it puts him like over 1,000 points at that point. Okay, I will take a look at the art section. I've been trying to hold off a bit, but what? Yes, my Spanish raccoons. I can now add them to my D&D game. No, I'm actually being serious. Like, I was doing a D&D game, and I was going to add them. And I was learning Spanish to play as 3 raccoons in a trench coat. And only speak Spanish to, like, the players and never speak English. I never finished learning Spanish, and that game never continued, but three raccoons in a trench coat that speak Spanish is a little joke I hold to myself. Leaf Lizard said, the reason is because the real horse was given the title of the Emperor. Dude was a beast on the track. Ooh, fair enough. Honestly, that is a good reason to give the horse the name. I think it like wasn't Gold. Okay, so Gold Ship, I think is its name. Benbitos. I love it. I love that name. I was gonna have D&D this weekend, but I don't think I am anymore. 2 of my players have to cancel on me. One's going on a bunch of trips, and the other one is doing a celebration that weekend. So we can't really switch it to another weekend because another player can't do all that. Yes, okay, so from what I understand with Gold Ship, I spend too much time on YouTube Shorts. Sometimes I get blurts of, like, information. Gold Ship did whatever the hell he wanted to on the racetrack. What do you mean D&D ruined? Oh, D&D ruined by Social Life. Yeah, scheduling Monster just kind of came in and ruined it. But the thing is, like, we try to schedule a month in advance so that we know what's happening. And this just kind of just happens the way it worked out. So, but on what I wanted to fish with the Gold Ship one, he could have, like, ran his entire life, like, and actually won all the races. That's always tough. Oh, another tabletop RPG that I played, or I finally got to run, was Never Going Home. It's a World 1 style. The jockey would pray for the horse, would pray not for the horse to win, but to be a normal day. Yes! Okay, thank you for getting me back on track with that. Yeah, he was such a silly, like, dude on the track. He would choose if, like, he was going to win a race or not. So he, like, from what I understand, because most racehorses, it's really, like, a tough life to be a racehorse. A lot of them die really young because it's hard on their body, just like any athlete. But Goldship was like, nah, I'm going to do my own thing, and is still in, like, really good health because he didn't push himself to his maximum, like, effort. Which I'm like, honestly, good on him. He had fun on the track. He did what he wanted to do. And he's still in a good enough health to, like, run and do normal things as a horse. I don't know if it's him or another horse that they would... He's literally built different. Yes, he's built different. I was talking about Never Going Home, so I'm going to stay focused on that for a sec. If you get the chance to play Never Going Home or run a game of Never Going Home, do it. It's a lot of fun. It's a very simple RPG system, I'd say. You only need D6s and playing cards to play. And character creation is relatively straightforward. I'm trying to get my friends together to maybe do another game for it. It's the same ones that I play D&D with, or a different D&D game with, not the one I'm trying to schedule a month out in advance. But it's difficult because they're all now getting busy on weekends, and adulting and scheduling gets in the way. But also no one has replied to my message of like, hey, do we want to do a game? So I think life is just being life. But yeah, I was the one running the game, and I had a lot of fun while running it. It was a nice little refresher, or palate cleanser. And then to go off what's being said, he's 19, which means he's a middle-aged man. Yeah, because horses can live up to like 35. We had a horse that lived like to the age of 35. I don't ride horses. My mother and sister do. My sister actually runs a farrier business, which a farrier is someone who works on horses' feet and does horseshoes. She was teaching riding lessons, but I've grown up around horses my entire life. So it's astonishing to kind of like learn new facts about them and just realize how poorly built they really are. I never plan on ride. I have ran a horse once, a few times, but I'm terrified of horses. I'm not a fan of them, and that is my own reasons. I think I've said this before on stream, but I'm very lucky that I was not squashed by a horse at the age of 5. Because I had one step on the back of my neck, or very close to the back of my neck, at the age of like 5 or 6. I don't think it stepped on me. It actually, like, it kicked and all that stuff. I found a meme where the Emperor is playing Una Musume and showed his progress to Malkador and is like, forget my sons. Here's my daughter, Malkador. Had such a defeated look on his face. Was his daughter the pink hair horse? Good night, Hannibal. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I will see you either Wednesday or Thursday. Most likely Wednesday, but I will keep people informed in the Discord. And maybe make a YouTube like post saying, hey, this is this day. Or if I skip a Wednesday and Thursday, we'll just do one Sunday, because I'm tempted to do one Sunday as well. But I also need time to, like, go out and be social. I can't just sit here in front of a computer my entire life. Ah, fair enough. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. The Emperor would have literally the Emperor as his horse. Oh. Oh yeah, I got your silver backpack thing. Yeah. But she lived a long, good life. Keep that in mind. I think in terms of like her age, she was like an 80-year-old grandma. So she lived a long life. And if you follow the lore, I guess, of like the horse racing game, horse girls never die. They're technically elves in that game. I will look in the meme tab of Discord right now. Okay, I thought initially that it was going to be the Emperor's head on a horse's body of like that one, but now that makes sense. I like Sanguinius holding the little horse. That makes me happy. That has made my evening. You have made my evening, good sir. The only way out is glue? No! That's diabolical. The only way out is glue. Reminds me, I saw a clip. Someone was at a convention and they walked by a stall and they were selling bottles of like Elmer's glue, but they rebrand it with the images of the horse girls on it. And it was all the horse girls that like stop racing within the game or like within the anime. So it's just like, no. Also, I hope we've discovered better ways of making glue than just that way. Probably not. To my knowledge, not. That's diabolical for sure. Yeah, it was! I'm now picturing a 40k version of Musume. The girl, like, the horses are still around, but, like, if they fail in combat, they get sent to the glue factory. Yes. Yes, they are. I will not believe anything else, but the horse girls are still alive in the video game and anime, because I think it is technically they don't die from old age. Like I said, I think they're elves in, like, that world. Heretics be okay. I will accept heretics become glue for the Emperor. That is something that I will accept. I want that I want that as an emote now. I want that as an emote for either the Discord or for this YouTube channel. A bottle of Elmer's glue with a picture of a heretic on it. It could have Horus's face. So instead of a heretic, it's Horus. Horus got turned into a bottle of glue by the Emperor. And Horus is the glue that holds together the Imperium now. Because the Emperor is using him to hold together everything. And the Emperor's running out of glue. What sort of train of thought did I just go down? You also need one of Sanguine. Isn't he hugging, like, Hara in the meme you sent? The Emperor's running out of glue, and he's looking at Abaddon. The Chaos Gods are farming Abaddon so that they can turn him into glue for the Emperor so that they can keep doing their big game. Prove me otherwise. Prove me otherwise. That's not what's happening. We need more glue for the Emperor. The Tyranids are coming in. They're trying to eat the glue as well. Ooh, I did not know that. I did not know that it was a name for a Yu-Gi-Oh card as well. Oh, what came first? Did the Yu-Gi-Oh card came first, or did the actual horse come first in history? That is a question I have, and I don't know. What's Japanese for Ash Blossom? Oh. So when was the card released in Japan, and then when was the racing horse born? Because that's my question. Like, what came first? Did the horse come first, or did the card come first? The horse came first. Okay. Well, we know her owner was not a Yu-Gi-Oh fan. I will admit, I love the topics that we talk about on this channel sometimes. I would not have expected tonight to talk about Horse Girls, Glue for the Emperor, and I forgot what else we talked about, but it's been a wild conversation, it feels like. The card came out in 2017. Okay. Come on, brush. Stay together a little bit longer for me. Always comes to metallics. Whenever I paint with metallics, the brush just starts to, like, fan out. I don't know if it'll focus. Probably not. Okay. For now, that's all I'm going to do on these guys. I'm then going to move over to... What is the next unit I need to do? I'm tempted to work on the Dreadnought. But we might have to move over to the Terminators. Let me look at my box real quick and decide. We are going to go with my snipers. We're going to go with my eliminators. These were the very first models I ever bought and painted, and then I re-scrubbed and primed them black and tried the dry brush gray. The dry brush and gray went horribly wrong, but yeah, I'm kind of excited to actually repaint these guys into some newer colors. Okay, I'm actually going to very quickly step away and get some water. Take this time, people, to get up, stretch your legs, grab some water. Grab some food if you need it. I'll be back really soon. Well, if you did it yourself, I wouldn't have to be your mother there, Sawtooth. But no, I more do it for myself because I will lay down or sit longer than I need to. And I don't want to develop any blood clots. And I will get very dry mouth if I talk too long. So... So one of the main things I keep trying to say and do on this channel is like, at least like halfway through the stream or at some point in the stream, like get up, stretch your legs, move around. It is. The only thing I don't do enough is for self-care is be physically active enough. But yeah. For those curious, the blue that I'm using is Stormfiend Contrast Blue for the armor. And then for the oranges, I'm using Nuclear Sunrise. For the black, I'm using Grim Black. And for the green, I'm using Orc Skin Green. All speed paints. What's up, Goblin Twink? I love that name. Yes. If you're sitting for too long and not getting up and stretching, yes, I have heard of Space Maids, and they're funny as hell. I love that that's an actual chapter people have made and played. Also, for the browns, I call it Gorefur Brown, but it's like Gore Grunta Fur. I think it's how it's pronounced. I'm not really sure. But that's what I use for the leathers and stuff. At least for the basic contrast, to get the basic colors down. And then for the metallics, I use Cobalt Metal on most of them. Goblin Twink. I was not expecting to see someone called Goblin Twink in our chat tonight, but I'm happy we did. I love in-game jokes for D&D stuff, so I'm happy that you have graced us with it tonight. I just talked about one that I had in one game I was going to do, which is 3 raccoons in a trench coat that only speak Spanish. I was going to learn Spanish and have this be an NPC my players would interact with, and he would only speak Spanish, and he would say that he is a person. But it was 3 raccoons in a trench coat. But yeah, welcome to the chat, Goblin. I am working on my custom Space Marine chapter. I'm roughly doing 1,000 points. It's for a game that I'm doing with a friend. He's got a under 1,000 points of Chaos Space Marines. And yeah, I'm building my army that I'm going to go against him with. And I'm trying to get it done within 20 days. Ooh, what spearhead are you painting up? Are you... Wait, are you actually serious, Leaf Lizard? Like, they actually have cat ears and stuff? I thought it was just a part of their armor. But I will first say, talking about Age of Sigmar spearheads, I have the... Oh, you're doing your friend's Soulblight Gravelords? Ooh, I want to get some Skelly Boys at some point. I'm focusing more on 40k, but Age of Sigmar does seem... It is something I want to get into. I have the Seraphon Spearhead, the one with like the Connosaurus, and it's not the newest one. It's like the older one that they made a while ago. I grabbed that one for myself. But other ones I want to get are the... I can't remember their name, but they're the guys in golden armor, and they're like golden blue, pretty much. But I also want to get some... I don't know, if I get into Age of Sigmar, I have like 4-ish armies I want to do. I want to do like a Chaos army for Age of Sigmar, because I like the Chaos models in that one. And what else? I want to do some vampires, but mostly like the Skelly Boys. I like the skeletons in Age of Sigmar. Is that actual Spanish? Because I have no idea what that says. But knowing... So I'm going to pick up what Leaf Lizard said earlier. They're actual cat people. So do they only recruit like Filion, the cat people from 40K? Like, is that the only, I guess, human race that they do? I will admit there's one vampire model I do want to get. And it's... He's got a huge wolf pelt. Well, hello, I'm a human like you. Oh, is that what you said in that other language? I gotta learn some other languages and stuff. I'm too, like... I'm too English coded. I'm too American. I need to learn some other languages. Though I will say I do like spicy food. I did not grow up in a bland household. I grew up in a household of spices. My father grew up with a... She wasn't directly from Poland, but her family like was Welsh and Polish. So she liked bland food, my grandmother. And they boiled a lot of food. And my father, once he realizes what spices were, was like, oh, I'm adding spices to all my food now. I'd probably learn Italian because I want to go to Italy at some point, but yeah. Desita. Fair enough. I know, like, moher. The only sentence I used to say was, like, Mother, I like bread. Because I was learning on, like, Duolingo. And that's as far as I got with it. You gotta ask the creator of the chapter about recruitment. Either their gene seed for the made ones, like, transform the humans so much that they grow cat ears and tails, or they're only pulling from a mutant race in humans to, like, make it somewhat easier. If I know 40K, they're probably turning people into these cat-eared things. They're not actually pulling from, like, the mutated human race. They're not pulling from the felines. The cat people. I'm just going to say cat people. Okay. So, not an official chapter like I thought because of their Primarch, but I love that there's a So it's one of the fallen or the lost Primarchs, not fallen Primarchs. I hope I meet someone who is actually playing these models in real life. Oh, it's a... Okay. I have more questions now. Things are being answered, but it's developing more questions. Sorry, I'm trying to like blow my nose here. Despacito means slowly. Okay. I'm gonna skip over the Despacito thing, just because it kind of clicked something in my head, and I'm gonna say focus on the cat Space Marines here. I should look this up myself, but because someone is like finding the answers for me, I'm just gonna ask here. Are the Space Marines themselves... Okay. Are the Space Marines themselves an all-female chapter? Or are they male... Like, are they human males that just... Yeah. I'm kind of lost for words in a second. Yeah. Are they still like male, but they act as maids, or are they female? I'm okay either way. Cat boys. Cat boys. So it's a female Primarch, but her entire legion is cat boys. Or entire chapter. Okay, and then going over to Goblin. He's never tried 40k, but when he does, he's going to do 2,000 points of Gretchens. I'd be interested in seeing that. I don't know if you can do 2,000 points in just Gretchens. Probably like Gretchen-like models? Yeah, probably. You probably could. I don't know the Orc line that much. But if there's enough models with the word Gretchen in them, like Gretchen on this vehicle, Gretchen on that vehicle, or like separate units, you could most likely build a 2,000 point list of just Gretchen. If not, then you would have to add orcs to your list. I mean, orcs in general, I heard, are kind of fun, and they're fun to like go against as well. They've been like one of the only... I haven't played against them much, but orcs have been one of my favorite armies to go against. I hate going against Eldar, but that's because I played against people that only play Eldar. And I'm not good at the game at all, so it's a little bit tough dealing with Eldar. Oh, you mean definitely orcs. Okay. I mean, either way, I think it'd be a cool army list either way. My buddy that is doing Chaos Space Marines, he said the other army he would maybe do would be orcs. And I told him I think that would be really cool. Because orcs seem like a very fun army in general to play. I wonder for my stealth units... Okay. I mean, either way, it doesn't matter. It's whatever that person's chapter decides. Okay. Definitely doing a green cloak, but I know for the left shoulder pad, I do a bright orange. I wonder if I should switch that and make it be like both shoulder pads are black, because they try to stealth. And bright orange is not a very stealthy color. That might be what I do. You love their whole space junk aesthetic. It is a very good aesthetic. I would not be surprised if there's a world like that in 40K. Only 2 things. Well, I guess now 3 things are for 4 things. 4 things are for sure in the Warhammer 40K universe: death, taxes, war, anime. I think that's what I'll do. Is I'll do a black shoulder pad on all of them because they have to be bright orange. That's just a target to have on your back. Or on your shoulder, I guess. It's a big universe. Can't be all grimdark. Wow, just like real life. I mean, anime is bleeding into real life, I guess. Has been for a while. I mean, One Piece is becoming a reality. But I won't say too much more than that. But I hope everyone's enjoying the stream that's here right now. If you haven't yet and you want to, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. But you also don't have to either way. Just having you here, lurking, watching is more than enough as well. Oh, and if you also want to keep up with the community and kind of help guide what I create here on the channel, I have a Discord that's completely free to join. It's more than just a Warhammer channel. It's also one where we talk about, or we can talk about any sort of craft and hobby. Earlier in the stream, we were talking about cosplay and stuff, and people have posted some of their cosplay works they've done. We got one person here who was here earlier, Hannibal. He does a bunch of woodcraft and drawing, and he was showing his stuff in the Discord. I throw in, whenever I get around to it, do some of my other projects I throw in there. And just a place that people can also ask for advice or just kind of hang out and meet cool and interesting people. But again, you don't have to either. Just having you here is more than enough. So, to catch up on chat, the creator released... They made a codex? They made a codex. I thought this was a chapter that's been around for, like, a while. Paradise worlds in general, where life isn't completely terrible. But the only people that live on a paradise world is, like, you're either born there or you're super rich to get on a paradise world. Other than that, you're stuck with the rest of us dealing with everything else in 40K. But in reality, like, yeah, 40K is so massive. You could live your entire life and never see conflict. It's just that everything's so, like, spread out. Like, if you think about it in reality, it's not that the entire universe is at war constantly. It's just a bunch of little wars that happened, like here and there. Just like in our own reality, we're not always fighting in one giant war. It's a bunch of little separate wars that people are fighting in. Stuck in the deepest hive city, getting all kinds of cancer. Yeah, like, most likely you're going to live as, like, a hiver or as some medieval peasant. Like, you're not going to have a good life in 40K. Your best outcome in 40K, if you're an average person, your best outcome is to be born and then instantly die. That is your best outcome in 40K. If you really do want a good life, maybe Rogue Trader, maybe High Lord, maybe Inquisitor. Like, yes, these are good lives you can live being those people, but you deal with some really bad things. I'm trying to see directly. Honestly, yeah, that probably is the best life in 40K. Well, no, because the Butter Robot has artificial intelligence, so it would be completely destroyed. Adept Mechanicus, even then, I still don't feel like that's a good life to live. Like, everything's supposed to suck in 40K. Yeah, the Drukhari are kind of cool. I mean, if you want to be born as an Elder, that's fine, but if you're born as a human and you go to Eldari, like... No. I guess technically if you want, like, the best life possible if you're a human, you'd want to be in with the Tau, but I don't know much about the Tau. I know they're very classist. If you had to be, like... If I had to pick any race in 40K that I'd want to be, it would maybe be a Tyranid. Because at that point, I'm not me. I'm just a bunch of, like, whatever else is going on. But if I had a choice to be, like... I saw this video a long time ago, and it was like, if you could be any super soldier from any like bit of fiction, which one would you pick? And initially, like, I thought I'd choose a Space Marine, but I was reading the comments and I'm like, okay, so the other premise of it was you go through the process, you successfully become this super soldier, then you're brought back to our world and live as, like, alright, then you pretty much live the rest of your life. And initially I thought, oh, I'll be a Space Marine, it'll be awesome, like, yeah. Yes, I'd have to jump into an acid pool, but again, I'm every single Tyranid at that point. If I had to choose a race, I'm the Hive Mind. I'm every single Tyranid out there. So, again, or to finish what I was saying, I initially was going to pick Space Marine at the time, but I'm like, you know what? These comments are right, there's a better choice. I'd choose to be a Custodes. If I had to be a super soldier of any type and be successfully created, it'd be a Custodes. They pretty much live forever. Like, from what I understand, the ones that, like, do lose a little bit of their like speed. They might be like a millisecond or less than a millisecond off in speed. They go and become Secret Service. They're still really fast and like dangerous to be around. So that's just like a Custodes is what I would want to be if I was a super soldier. Because they're better than Space Marines. I have a Custodes army. I love my Custodes army. I actually need to add more models to my army at some point. You know, there is actually going to be a little bit of orange on these guys, and I forgot. It's literally the dots on their boots and on their knee pad. As much as I want to be stealthy camo, I can switch it to black. I really haven't come up with like a proper stealth unit color scheme for these guys. I think black and or blue and black is good for stealth units in most situations. If they're doing night attacks, it's like the best color you can really go for. But you know, I do have orange in my scheme, so I might as well add orange. But I'm gonna move over to doing the greens. It does seem like a very cool existence. I mean, it still would suck to be a Custodes in 40k. It's not a pleasant experience. But if I was to become a super soldier and then, like, oh, then I get brought back to 2025 as this super soldier, I'm going to go Custodes. I'm getting some paint on these guys now finally, but what time is it? We'll keep going for a bit. If anyone is interested in reading a Custodes book and kind of want to start, I guess technically it could be a Horus Heresy book, but it's not really a Horus Heresy book. It's a Warhammer book, not even a 40k one. Valador, The Birth of the Imperium is a good Custodes book to read. I enjoyed reading that one quite a bit, and it made me... It was stuff that I like already knew because I do have like some of 40k spoiled because I watch 40k like YouTubers and learn about it that way. But if you don't do that, read the books. The books are, or even just an audiobook. I usually listen to audiobooks more than I do read. But Valador, Birth of the Imperium was a good listen. And it made me appreciate the character a lot more. I do want to learn more about Valador and the Horus Heresy, and I'm like, he is a model. I know he's a 30k model, but he's a model I want to add to my 40k Custodes army and run him as a captain or general or whatever I gotta remember what they're actually called for Custodes. Shield captain. It's shield captain. But to my knowledge, I haven't checked. It's not a model that's in stock currently. And it's pretty expensive too. Sounds good. Oh, you're talking about the book. Yeah, I've been reading a lot more of 40K books and stuff like that. I'm almost done with Iron Storm. It's an Iron Warriors book. It's been okay to read. Not my favorite book that I've been listening to, but it's not a terrible book. I think the Iron Wars in that book are going to lose, which is not what I expected from a book that's supposed to be like for the Iron Warriors. But maybe I'm wrong because I'm still listening to it and I got like 2 more hours left. But with that also being said, some of my favorite ones I've listened to have been Dark Angel books. The first one I ever listened to was Lion, Son of the Forest. That was a really good one to listen to. And again, I knew who the lion was, but I didn't really know like all about it. There's an MMO for 40K or for Warhammer in general. I did not know that. That might be something I check out. Oh, I finished Dark Imperium. Dark Imperium was another nice one to listen to. That one's the beginning of like the Plague Wars. If people know that. But some of my favorite ones to listen to have been Guardsman books. Guardsman books are such a good listen to. Yeah, it's called Age of Reckoning. Ooh, I'm going to have to check that out. I will have to check out Age of Reckoning. I have listened to a couple Age of Sigmar books. I've done the Start Here books I've listened to. The first one I ever listened to was one about 2 witch hunters, a daughter and father. And that's been a really good read. I would tell you the name if I could remember it, but I have to grab my phone, which is up here as my little camera, to look and see any of that stuff. And I don't want to pull that down just to find some book titles. But they did make some models off of these 2 characters. I might get into Old World as well and listen to some Godric and Felix books. I've heard those are really good. The official server is long since down, but there's private servers called Return of the Reckoning. Okay. Interesting. I definitely have to check it out. This might... It's Old World MMO. Oh, yeah, I think I have seen, like, a clip on it. Someone was, like, playing a dwarf, and it was, like, a level 1 dwarf all the way, like, level 10, and, like, an orc as well, and it was, like, Warhammer in the tags. But I'm going to be a pain, and I'm going to call it here, because I'm going to go to bed and get some sleep. But I appreciate everyone that's popped in here. And I hope to see you all here in the future. Because tomorrow's stream, or it might be Thursday, depending on how things go, we are building a custom kill team / combat patrol board. I'm doing a 2-foot by 4-foot board that I'm currently building. And then Saturday stream is a general crafting stream where I get to do some other crafts that I have on the back burner that I want to get done. Or we might do painting, but I'm going to keep Tuesday as my normal painting day. You're welcome. Like I said, I'm trying to do at least 3 or 4 streams a week. I start around 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. except on weekends. Weekends I can do a little bit earlier. But if you enjoyed the content here, feel free to leave a like and subscribe just to keep up to date on everything. But you don't have to. Having you here is more than enough. And if people want to, I do have a Ko-fi account that you can donate to, but there's no need to do that as well. Donating to that just puts money into the channel to help with upgrades, either getting new cameras or hiring an editor or whatever, but it doesn't really matter. I think I'm just going to stick with streaming. I'm very happy with the streaming and talking. So, I hope everyone enjoys their evening, and yeah, I will see y'all next time. Oh, and before I forget, go out there and make something awesome. I know you will.